going on, guys? Welcome back to the Barrens Hideout Podcast. I'm the baby Dustin.
I'm the Gaslighter Anna.
I'm the adult here.
You are. You got to be the adult, man, because we can't be left unsupervised. You know why?
Why?
Because we're babies.
That's true.
That's true.
That's the easiest thing. But not just that. We are here for Tales from the Barrens, number 14.
14. Numbers.
Yeah, I don't have that many hands. But this Tales is going to be special because about a week or so ago, I put out a post on our social medias, like over on Instagram, saying, hey, we're going to be at Salem Horror Fest at the end of this month. If you have horror shorts, please send them to us because we want to see them. Did we get some fucking responses?
We did.
Oh, we did. And the two or three that we got, plus the full lengths,
Yeah.
fucking A, man. So good. And we took two of them from those emails in the post, and we're going to cover them tonight.
Yes.
We've been given the green light to go ahead and just walk through like how we normally do and spoil and just review this short film how we normally would. So I am covering a short film called The Baby. Anna brought one to the table called Gaslighter.
Yep.
And Little D brought one called The Box Paradox.
Which I will say is not in the Salem Horror Fest itinerary. That's the odd one out.
Right.
So everybody knows.
Yeah. Yeah, we wanted to kind of not do a full one of them, but these two that we chose, we just could not fucking stop talking about. So this is a forewarning now. We do walk through these shorts. Two of them we will only be able to catch at the festival,
Yes.
but they will be available whenever the directors decide to put them on YouTube. But the Box Paradox is on YouTube, so go ahead and go watch that. Come back and see how we rate these on our scale. Which stands for story, creature, atmosphere, runtime, and effect. And we rate it on a 0 to 1 for each letter, giving us a number out of 5 for our final ratings. So, without further ado, Anna, I would like for you to open this one up tonight for
Okay.
us.
The Gaslighter, really?
Yes.
You're gonna have
No,
the
Yeah,
Gaslighter
I
open up?
definitely am not a gaslighter.
I'm gaslighting her. To
I
start.
know, yeah, he is.
Wait, before we do start, but what are you wearing right there?
Tales from the Barrens sweatshirt.
Killer Clowns No Matter Space, Cavity Colors.
I like that
Beautiful,
shirt.
both of them. Beautiful.
And what are you wearing, Big D? You promoting Dissect that film?
Oh, just this thing. I just dusted it off.
He
This little
dusted
thing.
it off.
But
All right, Anna, what do you got?
Okay, so we've got just Gaslighter. And this is one of the picks for Salem Horror Fest, directed by Virginia Powers Hendry. What?
I was just thinking about what we were talking about.
Oh, you're still getting tickled?
Get out of here, dude.
Oh, yeah, Gina Powers Hendry. She was gracious enough to send us this, and I watched it last night. It was the first one I watched out of the 4. And I was just sucked in from the very beginning to the very end, and I'll tell you why. So we start off this short with a woman pulling in to her house. She's listening to a podcast talking about horror movies and true crime, spooky kind of stuff. She's by herself. But she's on the phone with her boyfriend, someone it's not necessarily a long distance relationship, but someone who's out of town for kind of business. Their careers at this point are going in 2 different directions. So the whole time we've got this tension of her walking through this house. She's on the phone with her boyfriend who their relationship might not be continuing just based on what their goals and life aspirations are, kind of going in different directions. So she walks up to her front porch. And the first red flag is she tells her boyfriend, my porch light's off. He's like, oh, you must have just forgot to turn it on. No, I never forget to turn the porch light on. Totally relatable. I'm the same way. Like, I have a routine. I just know. And I know, like, when I get into my house, like, if something's in an off place or something's not right. I just have that, the way I remember stuff. So
Sure.
she,
Rain Man
yeah,
style.
literally, yeah. So she's still talking to her boyfriend. She puts the key in. The door's unlocked. Oh, you probably just forgot to lock it. Do you think I'm stupid? That's what I would have said. Oh my gosh, this boyfriend is so infuriating. Hence the title, Gaslighter.
Where do you think this short is set?
Oh,
Like time-wise or like city-wise?
No, location.
I was thinking
Definitely
more.
L.A.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. California somewhere. It kind of felt like a California suburb-esque street. She had a nice, cute little house. So she walks in, flips the switch, the power's off. She's like, but I have to go all the way out back by myself to flip this breaker. You're going to be fine. There's nobody there. You're just being paranoid. Like, it's all your fault, pretty much, is what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
All the while, they're still talking about their relationship. She's not ready to move right now. She's trying to make partner. She's probably a lawyer. He got a job offer in another city. We're kind of keeping up with that and trying to alleviate some of the tension. So she gets out to the back of the house. Sure enough, the breaker had been flipped. She turns it on, and we're up and running. She goes back inside, and she just cannot shake the feeling that something's up. So, and she also sees that her front door is open. And she closed it when she first got there, and she has like the jingle bells that are on, some people's front doors. And that is literally laying in the middle of her floor with the door wide open. She tells her boyfriend that the front door's open. Well, you probably just forgot to close it. God, I'm like, this motherfucker. Like, the longer this short went on, I was so over him. And at that point, I would not have even attempted to clear the house. I would have just left. But this is a horror movie, or horror short, so we got to go with the flow. Mm-hmm. And her boyfriend's just, he is, he thinks he's alleviating some of her stress by saying, oh, it's okay. Everything's going to be fine. Blah, blah, blah. It's just, you forgot. No. Like, we know this kind of stuff. So she's like, will you just stay with me while I clear the house? Stay on the phone with me. Yeah, of course. It's not like he's not being, like, mean, per se, or, like, hateful or harsh in his voice. It's just very flippant and not really caring of what she needs or what she's looking for or the kind of support in this moment, a very scary, tense moment that he should be giving her. And I gotta say, man, the tension in this whole short is just fantastic. And we're clearing that house with her. And do we see somebody already?
We do.
At
the door.
When this happened.
The front door. The front door. Oh, I got chill bumps because I could still see him in my head. But yeah, we get a shot of the front of her, like we're outside on the porch looking in, and then we see a guy with a weird mask. A great looking mask. No kind of mask I've ever seen before. Very unique. Kind of a mixture of, kind of like the Valentine mask with maybe heart eyes, but don't think Valentine's Day. I'm just thinking like texture and kind of style. It kind of looked like a
like porcelain.
Thank you.
A chibi.
Yes, like a porcelain doll kind of mask.
Okay.
That's at least the kind of vibe I got. And I'm also watching it on my phone because it's on the email.
Yeah.
So she clears the house. Nobody's there. I don't know where he was hiding. But she's still on the phone with her boyfriend. She's in the bathroom now in her bedroom, changing out of her work clothes, putting her comfy stuff on. We see a shadow. We know he's come in the bedroom. And obviously he's under the bed, because where else are they going to be other than the closet? And so eventually she hangs up, gets in bed, has her earbuds in yet again, listening to horror true crime. At that point, nuh-uh. I'm putting on Pineapple Express or something funny to make me laugh. I'm not listening even as much as I love that stuff. In that kind of moment, I'm changing it, Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she gets on her phone and she's texting her girlfriend. I just got home. She's giving her the run through. My boyfriend says it's no big deal. I looked through the house. I didn't see anyone, but I just cannot shake this feeling that something's still wrong. And in that one text message, her girlfriend OMG, get out of the house, come over here right now. And that's all she needed. She just needed to be convinced by somebody that she wasn't crazy. Well, she should have just listened to herself in that moment, but that's neither here nor there. In that moment, she needed the support from someone to say, you're not crazy. You're not just feeling this for no reason. Like, this is a real situation. That's what she tells her boyfriend. He's like, oh, it's probably all those true crime horror podcasts you listen to. She's like, yeah, I listen to it because this is real life. This is what women go through. And she's exactly right. So she gets up immediately. I don't even think she puts her clothes on. She's still got, like, her robe on. She grabs her bag. We get a POV shot of her walking around in the bedroom. And sure enough, he's under the bed. But she makes it out of the house. She's still got her earbuds in. The podcast is playing. And we get the same street shot of her house as when she pulled up. So she gets back in her car, backs out, leaves. There's like a good 3-4 seconds. And we see the dude get up in the top window in the top of the house and shut the curtains. Like, so is he going to be waiting there for her? Is she going to call the cops and tell them what happened? And is he just going to leave and say, oh, well, I missed my opportunity. I'll go hit somebody else. Or is he obsessed with this girl and is fixated on her and he will not stop till he has her kind of thing? There's so many different ways this could go, which is great.
Is it the boyfriend?
Is it the boyfriend? But I think she would have heard him. Like, especially when she's like, he's walking in the room. I don't know if it's...
It could be a Scream-esque situation.
Possible, but I feel like there was too many moments where the guy was nearby and she was on the phone with her boyfriend talking. I feel like she would have heard an echo. Sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's another theory. It definitely could be. You can't rule it out, that's for sure.
Nope.
So yeah, I absolutely loved the short, and so let's go to the scare scale.
Let's do it.
Let's see. Okay. So story is definitely a 1, especially from a female perspective. I loved everything about this. And the message that was trying to get across that I have been in that relationship more times than one. And it's just shitty when you get gaslit like that. I've been gaslit by friends, coworkers. You know, it's such a common trait, really, amongst people that it's kind of gross. People just think they're so entitled and they know everything, and you don't all the time. Creature, I'm definitely giving a 1 to, and I'm not just including the masked killer in this situation, I'm also including the boyfriend. So I figure a 0.5 each will give me a 1 on the creature area, because that mask was creepy as shit. It was unique, something I'd never really seen before. The boyfriend being an asshole, he's a creature unto himself in a metaphorical sense, you know. Gaslighting her into not getting out. If you really care about her and her well-being, if there is any worry in her voice about someone might be in her house and you're telling her, oh, you're fine. No, you tell her to leave. You be supportive.
Go on now.
Get. So creature is getting a 1. Atmosphere, also a 1. I was like on the edge of my seat for the entirety of the short. Once she noticed that her porch light was off, then the door, I knew where we were going, but I didn't really care that I kind of knew the path we were going on because I didn't know where it was going to end. It felt familiar, but different. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was just creepy as shit. So yeah, atmosphere is a 1. Runtime is a 1 because this is under 8 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, 7:52.
Yeah, under 8 minutes. Perfect runtime. We get enough told about her and her boyfriend's relationship, the kind of people they are, and it's just perfect in my eyes. There's ambiguity at the end, like we said, where it could go 5 different ways, and we don't really know. And, you know, I could say it's happening this way. You could say, oh, well, I think the mass killer's the boyfriend, and it was him the whole time. That was his plan. You know, that's the ambiguity in this situation works perfectly. And I am giving the effects a 1 because of the simple fact that this was shot great. the use of the cell phone and the earbuds and the editing, as well as there was some split screen shots, follow throughs, great transitions. It just looked great. And I feel like it deserved a 1 too, because I think this is a 5. This is a 5 short.
Wow. All right.
Whoa!
Yes.
Starting it off high.
Starting off hot. Yes, I loved this short. I was smitten by it. So thank you, Gina,
Hell yeah.
for sending this to us. We got a little early access before Salem. And
Hell yeah.
shh. Big D?
We can't wait. We're gonna end up hanging out with her too.
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
I'm ecstatic.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right, Big D, what do you rate it?
All right, so for me, man, like this one, the story I dug. I love the home invasion thing. Like you're saying, the boyfriend in here, like he's like the titular gaslighter, and he like you're saying, man, like if Holly called me and I was talking to her on the phone and she said, "Hey, front door's open," I'd be like, "Hey,
Get the fuck out.
Don't fucking go inside.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
Call the cops.
You know."
Mate.
Yeah, man, and it's just like one of those things where I'm like, he's just being unnecessarily a dickhead. There's a part where she walks into the bathroom and he always has like a rebuttal for something she's
Every
saying.
time.
The power's out, why the door's open. When she walks into the bathroom, the shampoo was knocked over into the bathtub. He goes, "Oh, there must have been an earthquake." I'm like, are you fucking serious, dude? Like, you're gonna sit there and try? That's why I think it was him.
I forgot about
He
that.
played part in it.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
he came just for the shampoo. Yeah.
Came to take a shower.
Yeah. He used the fucking hand towel. I used your decorative towel as my body wash towel. Fucking up the feng shui of the bathroom. Dude. But the story is a 1. Creature, boyfriend, I did the same thing. I lumped the boyfriend and this home invader in, but I only gave it a 0.5.
Okay.
Because the home invader we don't see too much of, which is great. I don't want to see. I want to, because how this short was pitched to us on the Salem Horror Fest website was somebody might be in her house, or are they? So it's like we already have that mystery on our brains about, is there someone actually fucking there or not? Mm-hmm. So, but for me, like when I seen this home invader walked up, dude, like my brain, like his mask, like in the late 90s, and it's funny because it just popped up for me on YouTube, was it was like that masked magician that reveals the magician tricks to people on.
Yeah. Okay. I used to watch that.
That's what it reminded me of. I might need to watch it again though, because if you're telling me it was like porcelain, I might not have seen it correctly. I don't know. I'm blind as fuck. but 0.5 for the creature. Atmosphere is a 1. The tension is building from the phone call, which I don't get. Honestly, if she was having this problem and she was that scared, why weren't you FaceTiming? Because I feel like sometimes. Oh yeah, fucking Androids.
No, not necessarily. I don't want to FaceTime just to FaceTime. I'd do exactly what she was doing. I'll be on speakerphone.
Nope. I'll walk. Well, she had we were hearing the earbud. Is what we were hearing. Like she had her earpiece in.
Yeah. I would be too concerned with what's going on the camera instead of what's going on around me. You know what I mean?
But sometimes seeing is believing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this dude should have, not believed her, because in reality, if you cared about this woman, he would have no matter what. But if you're walking around and I have you on FaceTime and you watch me shut this door, then you watch it be open.
Right, you can prove that you're not, as if you needed to prove, but yeah, you could at least be like, hey, I'm not fucking crazy. This is what happened.
Yeah. But the house is very tense all the way up until the fucking curtains get closed at the end from the home invader. So atmosphere is a 1. Runtime, it's a 1. It's under 8 minutes. It's in and out. Really good. And for the effects, you brought it up. I really liked the split screen. Like we got the dual screens of her doing shit more than once in this short. Other than that, there weren't really any other type of effects.
There's no violence per se.
No.
No VFX. I mean, she's scrolling her phone,
Yeah.
but I did see the Barrens Hideout podcast pop up on there. It's pretty cool.
Quick promotion real quick.
Just go ahead and give us a listen.
Yeah, when you watch this at Salem Horror Fest, ask them to rewind it a little bit so you can see it on there.
Yeah, but effects are a 0.25.
That's fair.
So that gives me a 3.75 for this short.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, Little D, what about you, man? Let's head to you.
All right. I love home invasion-esque horror because it's so real and happens every single day. Mm-hmm. So just off the bat, story is going to be a 1 just because it's so relatable, and I'm sure somebody has gone through this situation before with talking to a boyfriend or somebody and being like, somebody in my house, and they're literally telling you, no, you're fine, you're not crazy, and then they probably may have ended up dead. Who knows?
What do you think Scream is based off of?
True. That is very true.
Yeah,
very true.
It's real shit.
So yeah, story is going to be a 1. For creature, this is where it's difficult for me because I was also kind of putting in the boyfriend and the masked killer. And I didn't know how high up in totem pole I wanted to go for this, but I'm probably gonna go 0.75. Not a full 1, just because I feel like if we did get a little bit more of the killer, it probably would have bumped it up a little bit more. But then I'm still kind of leaning in the theory that I think it's the boyfriend. I understand proximity, if hearing somebody, if they're that close to you, but also if you're in the moment like that, you might not even hear that. You'll be hearing your phone because you have the earbuds in. Who knows? Atmosphere, it's totally a 1 because, like I said, you're literally at home. You're at your home. You're not at somebody's home like you're house sitting or something. You are at your house where you're supposed to feel safe.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't be vulnerable because it is your home. But the fact that she is vulnerable and it is her home, she's kind of fucked.
Right.
So it's like you just call the cops. Just get out of here. Don't even
she
worry
should
about
have
them.
done that for sure.
But I understand.
Hung up with her bitch ass boyfriend, and
I understand you want to see it for yourself, and because you want to be home, right? You don't want to have to deal with the cops are here, and I got to go through all this. I probably just had a long day at work. I want to go lay down. Runtime, yes, is going to be a solid 1 because it is below 8 minutes. It's below 10 minutes. It's great. The effects, and I wanted to run this by you guys because I was thinking this while I was watching this at the end, because we do have the split screen happening, and I guess I could even argue in some other spots, but really at the end, this made me think that there was 2 scenarios on this, because one side seemed like it was synced up with the audio that we were hearing, and then the other side seemed like it was a whole different thing. So I was thinking, is she in some kind of Groundhog Day thing? Because at the end, where she's texting her friend, and we also see her going in the podcast, it's like those 2 things are happening at the same time. So I was thinking, are these 2 different scenarios?
Yeah.
So that's just my brain just thinking way outside the box.
Yeah, I noticed that too, and I didn't really understand. Or we didn't really comment much about it, but maybe it goes back to what I think Big D was saying about how, is this really happening, or is it not, but I don't know. The scenario thing kind of makes sense of in this scenario, he's under her bed and she's texting her friend and she leaves, but then on the other side, he's really not there and she really is okay and she's just going to go to bed listening to her podcasts. But then at the end shot, we see him shut the curtains.
I know, but this is what I was going to argue, is one, she texts her friend that says, I'm going to come over, and so she leaves, right? And the other one, she's listening to her podcast.
Right.
So she's still at home.
Yeah.
So one of them is she leaves, and the other one, she's still at home, and the guy probably...
Right. But we actually
I chalked it up to being a low-budget horror short.
Okay.
That's why they didn't sync up. It wasn't the same shot in two different angles.
Okay.
Like, I just think it was one scenario.
Sure.
I think her texting her friend, we see her, like, because we have to be given the context of her texting her friend as to why she's leaving. But it's also, like, they make a comment about, you need to stop listening to these horror podcasts and shit. And it just shows that's her comfort. That's what she listens to go to bed, you know?
Yeah.
So I just chalked up the not syncing, because I noticed it too. That it's just a low budget
Maybe like some
indie short film.
non-linear stuff, maybe like
Well, you know how we can find out?
we're
When
gonna
we
talk to
talk
her.
to her. I don't know. I kind of like the dual scenario thing of this is happening in one universe or whatever. Or a possibility. Because I think on my thought is when we see her on the podcast, I don't think she's actually leaving her house during that scenario. I think the ending scenario we see is of her texting her friend and saying she needs to leave, but there's a scenario where she's still in the house and she gets killed. That's just me. And for me saying that, with how much it's making me think about this because of that one effect, if you want to call it that, it's a 1. It's going to be a 1 because it's giving me a lot of thought power. And I love that.
Nice.
So,
Oh, yeah.
4.75 for me.
Nice. Very nice. Let's see.
I like when I can think and be like, ooh, that's interesting. So, good job. Can't wait to chat with you.
It's a 4.5 from us overall for
Hell yeah.
Gaslighter.
Nice.
Anna was the gaslighter today.
I was.
Yeah. All right, little D. What short did you bring to the table tonight?
I brought a little short called The Box Paradox. And
The feckin' Bax Paradox, kids.
when we were going through discussing what we wanted to do this week, and we did want to do some Salem Horror Fest shorts. And I was like, let's just throw in one that's not. So I went on a little hunt. Wasn't really sure what I was feeling this week. I was like, oh, maybe we'll do some space. Nah, I wasn't really hitting. Maybe we'll do some Lovecrafty and stuff. Nah, I wasn't really hitting. And then I was just scrolling down, and this thumbnail to the short, I was like, what is that? So I opened it up. It's less than 4 minutes. It's very short. But the concept
You
of
know what the
this,
thumbnail reminded me of?
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Whenever you look at your chair in the middle of the night with clothes
Oh
on it.
yeah, that's fucked up too, dude.
That's what it reminded me of.
Oh man, I have some of that in my other room. Oh fuck. You just fucked my night, dude. I love that though. But no, I watched this one, and I actually watched it a couple times because I was kind of confused, but also I was like, this is really fun. So let's dive into it. So we're essentially following this guy who's living in this house. He's kind of like logging this event that's happening that he's seen happen multiple times. He's kind of explaining, he's like, I got this box. It's like upstairs, and it just kind of like it moves sometimes, and wind comes out of it. And he's kind of showing it around, and we see his room. It's either from like his point of view from his phone, which is really, really cool, or like a camera he's got set up behind him so he can view that all the time. And the phone's more of a close-up thing for you guys to see what's going on. So we see like this box kind of move, and he's got like clothes above this box. It's also a really cool one. It's more of a chest. I don't know if I'd really go as far as to say it a box, but I mean, I think for the pun or whatever he was trying to do for the title, it works. Yeah. So he has this chest upstairs, and it opens, or it makes like noises, and sometimes it sounds like people are like walking. So he goes over to it and he lifts it up, and we're now in cell phone view, and it's completely empty. There's nothing in there at all. So it seems like we might have like a minor time jump, like kind of late at night, where this box does end up moving, and he hears people walking. And this short has great sound design. Like you hear stomping and like moving and wind blowing like everywhere in the short. So he hears people, but he goes downstairs because he hears stuff downstairs. And this is what freaked me the fuck out, because it really makes you look, and you're literally looking everywhere to see something happen. So he's downstairs in his apartment, and he goes into like a room, and I think this is all cell phone view too. So it's kind of like definitely found footage. It's found footage for sure. But he goes into multiple rooms, and you're like really trying to look to see, is there something down there, while you're also still hearing like the stomping and moving and stuff happening. And then you hear something behind him, and he turns around, and there's this curtain, and I'm like, oh no, what are we gonna do? What's gonna be behind this fucking thing? He moves the curtain, and there's nothing there. There's nothing there. But you're looking though. You're like, no, there has to be something there. But he goes back upstairs, and once again, this chest is making a noise, and it opens, and the guy goes inside. It's nighttime. It's very minimal lighting. I think there's like one light on. He goes in, and he closes the chest, and we're just kind of like, okay, what's that? And then in the corner of the screen, it's very brief, but it made me rewind so many times to see what the fuck is that
I did
thing.
too, yeah.
Is this like long-haired, I don't even know, we're just going to call it a thing. This thing just walks or crawls out and goes towards the chest. And that's it. That's it. It's so short, so effective. I feel like this is great. I love this kind of format, and I wanted more. I really did. So we're going to go over to the scare scale. And we're going to dive into our own little chest and see what's inside. Story.
Anna, plug your nose.
I feel like it's very minimal, and I love minimal works like this, especially in a found footage setting where you're kind of building your own story in your head. And for that, for how much it was making me think of like, what the hell is going to happen? It's going to be a 1. I absolutely love the storytelling in this, and you feeling like you're there with this guy. I'm very uneasy the entire time, and this is only 4 minutes. Imagine like a 12-minute short of this. I'd probably have a heart attack. Creature, very minimal, but I'm not just gonna lump in the thing we see at the end. It's gonna be the chest and the overall like sound design as well. I love it so much. It made me watch it multiple times. It's a 1. I love everything about the short. Atmosphere, it's a 1. Like, it's just everything kind of just like dives into each other where it just keeps feeding, and I love that. Runtime, am I going to be psycho and not give it a 1? No, I'm going to give it a 1 because I'm not a psycho. And for the effects, that's also the sound design. While things are happening and he's opening up his chest while his noise is happening, nothing's happening there. Also with the creature at the end, and the effects that it does on your mind, where you're thinking when he's going through his house, and you're like, is there something there? There's something in the corner of the screen, isn't there? What is that? But it's not really anything. It's just a paint can. It's a freaking 1, guy.
Oh,
Fucking fiver.
Fiver!
Fucking
Whee!
fiver.
Wow.
Coming out swinging.
Like, I'm so happy I came across this, and I went on the
Nice.
guy's YouTube channel, and he's got a bunch more shorts on there, and you bet your ass I'm gonna be diving.
Yeah.
Anna,
You bet your bippy.
I'm gonna be
Bet your
diving
bippy.
into that chest for sure. But Anna, over to you. What were you thinking?
So for the story, I gave it a 0.5 because I needed more. I needed this to be like an 8-minute short.
I would have had a heart attack.
Like, I loved everything about it. I just feel like I just needed more information. Because then he gets in that damn box at the end, and it's like, so did him and the creature just change places? Is that what it...
That's what
Yeah.
I was thinking too. Something
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, I'll still give it a 0.5. I just need a little more. It looked great though. Like, everything was, the picture was great. The setup was nice. as far as where they shot and everything's concerned. The creature I'm going to give a 0.25 to, just because we don't see, like, that altar thumbnail shows us more than the movie does.
Yeah, that is true.
We do not get that kind of detail in the short. We see a ring-esque figure with long black hair coming out of the shadows, and then it ends before we get any kind of detail. That altar thumbnail gives us the whole, like, all the features of it.
They did something opposite. They usually spoil the moment, but in this case, they didn't give us the moment.
Yeah.
No, what's gonna happen, Anna, is now that when you're in Salem staying at Little D's house and he comes walking out of his bedroom,
You better fucking not.
with no
I'll throw haymakers.
Anna's got reach.
Too. And if I'm scared, I ain't afraid to start swinging. Now, with that being said, atmosphere is definitely a 1 because I was sucked in the whole time and I needed to know like what was going to happen. I felt the tension. This guy had an accent too. I think he was British or Scottish. Yeah,
Scottish,
so
I think.
it kind of we can assume
Fucking
Scottish. I hope I give you the shits, you fucking wimp.
I fucking went.
So we can assume maybe it takes place, in a different country, possibly. So yeah, the atmosphere was awesome. I just wished I'd had a little more to it at the end. Like, give me a little more information because it's very much set up kind of like Paranormal Activity. The very first one. Like some shit's happening, he decides to document it, but then it's like fast forwarded triple time because it's a short, and then we get to the end, but we don't get the middle. Like this could be a feature length, I think. Like, there's enough there that, at least an hour and 20-minute one. Nothing super long. But I feel like that's the ending of a movie. And we needed the lead up and the why all this is happening. At least I did. Runtime's definitely 1 because it's under 5 minutes. You can't beat that.
And you're not a psycho.
Yeah, and I'm not a psycho, yeah. And I'm going to give effects a 0.52 because we did get some movement of the box. We got some wind going with the sheet above it. The camera work, like Little D said. But it still wasn't anything that just really hit home for me. I'm sorry, Little D. So I can't
don't be sorry.
I can't give it anything more than a 3.25 this week.
That's fine. I mean, it's your own.
I did like
sport.
it. It was just one I needed a little more from.
And that's fair.
I'm glad you had fun with it though.
And fair is fair.
Yeah.
It is fair.
Hell yeah for hell yeah.
Fair. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Big D.
All right. So I'm glad I'm not the only one in that boat.
Oh no.
That's fine, man.
So we're given the story very briefly. He talks about, he goes, there's this stuff that's been happening, but I've never stayed long enough to document it. So how long has the shit been going on for? Like by the second time, my ass is out of that house.
Just get rid of the fucking chest, dude.
Bye.
Hey, you know where that chest would go? Right next to the armoire.
The armoire.
They'd be best friends.
Right out there next to that fucking armoire.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine if somebody picked up the armoire and the chest?
It's a buddy cop movie.
Right, a buddy demon movie.
Yeah. But the story we're given, the exposition dump, and then it plays out. I'm giving it a 0.75 for the story. Creature, I'm in the same boat as you. I am not going to count that chest, and what we got from the thumbnail was way more than what we got in this
Isn't
short.
that crazy?
It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks because I would really like to see, like, you don't even got to show me the creature. Like, put it in another scene to where if he thinks he might have seen something.
Yeah.
Because we do get at the very beginning where it shows like the chest like oozing or some shit. Mm-hmm. And then you see like the black background like move and it goes from black to gray. So it's like, sure, there it is again, but whatever. 0.25 for the creature for me. Atmosphere, 0.5. We're walking around in the dark for half of this because the power goes out, and god damn it, his cell phone light is so fucking bright.
Yeah, he's got that thing way up.
He's got a bat
Dude,
signal.
it's on dad volume is what it is.
Yeah.
Man, he's walking around and we're getting, the creaks of the house, which is cool. Thinks he sees something behind the curtain, so that's a 0.5. Runtime is a 1. I'm not psychopath. And it's right above 4 minutes. So easy peasy in and out. The tension builds, whatever. And then the effects. That's the one thing I liked the most about this was the sound design. Because we hear the chest scooting over, we hear the running up and down the stairs, we hear people downstairs, we hear the wind. For this being a solo person indie short film, the the sound design was really good. So that's going to be a 0.75 for me.
Very nice.
Which lands me at a 3.25 as well.
Nice. Crazy.
Yeah.
It could be crazy, but don't be a psycho.
Right.
Which
gives us a 3.8 total for the box paradox.
Nice.
All right, Big D, got to bring us home with our second Salem Horror Fest short. Nice.
Nice.
Oh, D, when he gets
cracks me up.
tickled, it cracks me up. He's got a good laugh.
So, the last Salem Horror Fest short that I brought to the table, I'm gonna butcher it now probably, and I apologize in advance, but we are meeting up with her as well. Is from Taylor Bustamante. I don't know if I said that right.
Apologies.
It looks like I said it right, I guess.
Right.
But it is a short film called The Baby. I have been keeping an eye on this one ever since they kind of like dropped the Salem Horror Fest information down last month. Mm-hmm. And this is one where I was like, man, that sounds fucking rad. Dude, and then Taylor reached out to us and has just been very active on Instagram, communicating, talking to us, responding.
Yeah, man.
Liking shit, talking to us.
We love it.
But man, this short comes in at 15 minutes and 58 seconds. So little D, get your quote ready. Okay?
Okay. You got it,
right.
boss. Let me clock in real quick.
Chi-chi.
Yeah. So, the short opens up with usually a woman sitting at a park crocheting, right? Or line stitching, whatever that is.
Doing the arts.
And just crafting at the park. And you can see it's forming letters, like there's an A and somewhat of an N. We don't know too much about it. And we see her fixate on this little boy that's at this park. And then it zooms in on him, and then it cuts away to her walking into her house. Right? She puts her keys down, she rubs her baby bump. And then, I don't know, it cuts over, and she's pouring herself a glass of wine. Big girl's just thirsty.
Well, I equated it in that moment, too, that, you know, you can kind of have one glass of wine ain't going to hurt you. So I was like...
I also thought there was a time jump at some point. Like,
okay.
Interesting.
I was like, okay. But then in my brain, it's like, I know when you go to breastfeed, you can't have alcohol. But who knows? I didn't know anything at that point. So I was like, I didn't equate it to anything other than a time jump. She walks over. She's all comfy. She's in her little robe, got her little flippers on, and sits down, and it looks over, and she sees a picture of a sonogram framed. And she's loving it, and then the music starts getting more intense and intense to the point where she sets it down, you know, and then it cuts back to her at the park again. This time, she interacts with the little boy because the little boy is swinging on a swing. You know, he's doing boy things, man. He jumps. See how far he can jump.
Look,
and
Mom.
You know, and yeah, look how far I can jump. Look how high I get. And he falls and eats shit.
Yeah. Like you do on the playground. Totally normal.
As a kid, that's what you do, right? So she walks over and she goes, hey, you know, let me help you up. And this kid's a little apprehensive about it. He's like, yeah, he doesn't say anything. You can just see the worry in his face. And she goes, don't worry. I'm here to help. and fucking grabs this kid. Like, forcefully grabs him. And she goes, next time you'll be a little bit more safe on here, huh, you little shit? And is shaking him around. And then you see the mom of this kid, like, in the background. Like, she stands up and she calls for him. This little kid's name is Timmy. And, you know, he's shook. He's fucking scared,
You shook
man.
him.
You literally shook him. So it cuts back. It cuts back to this girl's apartment, and we see a cutting board.
Oh yeah.
Right, cutting board, and the music's building and building, and she lays a fucking chicken down. Starts gutting the chicken. She gets the gizzards out, the giblets, all the fixins right out of this fucking chicken, dude. And then she starts sewing it up with yarn.
Yeah. The same thread she was stitching with.
Yeah.
It deteriorates by itself, so I get it.
Yeah.
And so she's stitching this chicken, and we're like, okay, what is she doing? You know, because like a lot of people on Thanksgiving, when they cook turkeys, when they prepare the turkey, they do stuff to it, they prop it in certain ways, they get shit to hold it in place. So maybe she stuffed it with something we didn't see and wants to hold it in. You know? Who knows? Cuts back to the fucking park again, but this time we meet the mom. Mm-hmm. Right? And, I skipped a part, sorry. After the interaction with the little boy at the park, you see the mom and the son walking down the street, and they're having a conversation, and they walk into their house. And as they're walking into their house, you see the girl who we're following step out from behind a tree to watch.
Like Michael Myers.
Exactly. Fucking Moaning Myers.
You behave, Michael. This isn't about you.
Yeah.
Stay out of it.
You just hear him.
Oh, Michael.
So we're back at the park, and this is when we actually get to learn the girl's name, and her name is Casey. Mm-hmm. And they're because the mom of the little boy walks up and she goes, "What the fuck did you say to my kid?"
Shit out.
Because what you said worked.
Yeah.
So she wants to become fucking pals. You know, like she goes, I see you at this park all the time, you know, but it's actually nice to actually finally get to meet you. And like, she's, you know, about to bust as well. She's 9 months pregnant. And you see Casey, you know, they're having this conversation, and the other mom goes, "Yeah, so when do you do?" And Casey's like very reserved about it. She doesn't give too many details. She's like, "Soon, very soon." And the other mom's like, "Yeah, me too. This Sunday, actually." Mm. And Casey goes, "What? Huh?" Licking her chops, dude. So good. And Casey does this cool thing. Like, she's talking to the mom. She goes, "Oh, so do you have a name for your little girl?" And she goes, "Well, yeah, I have a name for my little girl. We're going to name her Ann." And immediately that mom's like, "How the fuck do you know we're having a little girl?" Like, I didn't say anything about that. And at this point, that little boy, Timmy, runs back up. And he goes, "Mom, juice." And this reminded me of my little sister so much. Because Casey, she goes, "Shouldn't you say please?" My little sister is that auntie that my nephews will do that. My nephews will say some shit and my little sister will correct them. Like, "Excuse me," or, you know, "say please," or whatever. This little shit knocks the bottle of juice out of his mom's hand.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He's scared.
Little fucker. Scared? She's handing him a juice. Whack.
Well.
And then he smacks it. Get the fuck out of here. So they end up leaving, you know, because of that interaction. And then we follow Casey back to her house, right? She's wearing this nice red dress, and she's looking in a mirror, and she's, you know, rubbing her baby bump and then pretending to, like, coddle a baby, you know, going through the notions of being a mom. Then she starts undressing. Starts with the zipper on the back, pulls the zipper down. Then it shows like a front view from like her chest up, and it shows her take the dress off. And then it pans back, and we see the fake baby bump she's been wearing. Dude.
Psycho. She's a psycho.
Psychotic, dude. And she pulls it off, and then she has this huge scar. I don't know if that is from her testing out the procedure, like what she's about to do, or what she was doing to the chicken, I might say, or if she had a miscarriage and had to immediately, had to have life-saving surgery.
That's what I think happened.
I don't know, because she gets very fixated and aggravated with this scar to the point where she's grabbing at it, yanking, tearing at it. Whew. Then it cuts over to this fucking duffel bag.
I love this.
With little baby clothes in it. And then we watch Casey start packing it. And everything in this bag has a spot to go in.
She's got OCD for sure.
Oh, it's like a puzzle, man. It fits so nice. And you see, the little baby clothes, and then, paper towels, and then napkins, and then a blankie, and then rubber gloves, and then duct tape. And we're like, wait a minute. Wait a goddamn second.
Yep.
And then the final, the creme de la creme, is the tray of tools that she was using to surgically sew up that chicken. It cuts over to the mom's house with this little boy. I was a weekend kid, so I immediately knew what was about to happen. This little boy was getting picked up by his dad, and he's having his weekend, so this girl Casey knows that the house is vacant. The mom is the only person left here on this weekend, timed out, scheduled this weekend, right? Cuts over to this baby's room in the dark, and it's shot nice. I love it. The moon lighting that's lighting the room. You see Welcome Home Anne, and you see Casey put down this little baby pillow. And what she was stitching at the beginning of the short and throughout the short was this little pillow with the name on it. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. But this is my favorite part. It shows, it cuts to black, and then it shows, the living room, right? It shows the living room, then it ventures from the living room to the kitchen. You see the mom in there doing shit. And she turns around, puts stuff in the microwave, and, the tension's building, and she goes and opens up this fridge. Let me ask you something. How tall do you think this lady is in this short?
5'6".
Yeah.
So how massive is that fucking refrigerator then?
10 feet tall.
And it's got to be 8 feet wide. That door is huge.
Yeah, it's a big old fridge.
Yeah. So she's in there for a good 10 seconds. You're just waiting for something to fucking happen. And then she shuts the door, and as she shuts it, she walks, and Casey is standing behind her in all black. And then it cuts to the title card for The Baby. The reason that is my favorite part is from the skulking to the end is one fucking shot. I love that's one of my favorite tricks in horror movies is a one shot take. And it's done beautifully. I asked Taylor earlier, I said, hey, I need to know that one part, is that one shot? And she said she had to argue with her DP to let it happen.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so glad because it turned out really well.
It did.
So I'm going to head to the scare scale. The story, it's getting a 1. It's another home invasion short. This progression we watch of how crazy this woman is getting throughout this whole short. I watched it with Holly. We watched it together, and I'm like, all right, so when it reveals the fake bump, I just hear Holly go, I knew it. And then at the very end of it, I said, all right, so out of you, what would you rate this? Just 0 out of 5. She goes, I want more.
Hell yeah.
She goes, I want more. And she goes, 4 out of 5.
Nice.
I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. But story for me is a 1 because seeing the progression of this woman, the little breadcrumbs were given of how crazy she's going to get, and that it's not actually her. Who knows if that's her baby that's in the sonogram frame, or if that happens to be this other woman's child. Creature, 1. Casey is crazy as fuck. I'm counting her as this short's creature. Like, we see from her sitting at this park to interacting with this child to sewing up the chicken. It's awesome. Atmosphere is a 1 as well. You know, where the park scene, I really like the park scenes a lot. But again, that last shot, that last 40 seconds of whatever was fucking awesome. Runtime, it's 16 minutes. I don't think it needs to cut anything out, though. I think everything is well paced. Everything, every second is used, to its full capacity, which is a 1 for me as well. The effects, not many in the short. I don't know if the scar's real on this woman, and all we really see is the chicken, right? So that's going to get a 0.5 from me, which gives me a 4.5 for this short.
Nice.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Little D, let's head to you, man. What did you think of the baby?
I was actually pleasantly surprised as to what I was getting myself into when we got this. We got to check it out, and we're doing it this week. I was like, okay, here we go. I thought the storytelling was amazing, and also when they're sitting on the bench and you hear Casey say, "I just love being pregnant. I wish I could be pregnant all the time."
She goes, "You can tell you're a first timer."
And it's like, what the fuck? So yeah, I think the build up and just how everything correlates at the end. Yeah, would I want more? Yes, but I feel like we don't need anything more because you know exactly what's gonna happen. So it's gonna be a 1. I'm right there with you for creature. Casey is a psycho. I'm a psycho. Blah, blah, I'm a psycho.
Fucking the Grinch.
I feel like walking this life with her, so to speak, and seeing, like, I guess, into her mind, that she's completely detached because of whatever happened. I'm right there with Anna, where she was thinking maybe it was like a medical procedure like that needed to happen for her child. I'm gonna say that she definitely was pregnant at one point, and I think why she's grabbing at herself so much is because she
hates her body.
She hates her body, and also I think she's mad at what she could have had and that it's not here. Mm-hmm. So she's mad at that, and seeing that switch with her definitely warrants her to be in a sense, a psycho. So that's going to be a 1 as well. Atmosphere, the build-up in this, like I was saying, is great. When you start off with a short, you're like, oh, this seems like it's probably going to be kind of happy. It starts off in like a very high note. You're like, oh, okay, we're following this mother-to-be, and we're going to see her life and see what happens. I know it's called The Baby, so what does that mean? And then we, slowly start to see everything. So it's going to be a 1. And yes, this is 16 minutes, and it's an amazing short. And yes, if you're going to have a short that is over 15 minutes, it better be fucking good.
Fucking good.
This is a really fucking... Really, really fucking good short. Color palette and all, storytelling, the way things are shot in a way, and how you're framing certain shots to ease the viewer into what's happening is amazing. And now we're going to go into the effects, where I'm also kind of at a weird spot of like, there's really not a lot of effects in here, but I think I could argue with how they're using camera angles and the storytelling with those camera angles. I can definitely say that there are effects that are being used in here. And for me, the way that they're used, man, it's gonna be a fucking 1. This is another 5-er.
Damn.
Oh shit!
It's great. I want to rewatch it, but I don't want to rewatch it at the same time because I know where it goes. But I like that journey. I like being inside of somebody who's not well and seeing how their life is and how they're possibly dealing with some sort of trauma that they definitely went through. And obviously, what she's doing, don't do that. Don't go and stalk
No.
other people and try to take their babies and sew their baby's name into a pillow and stuff. No, just not do that. But in
No.
this sense, I like being in the mind of somebody who is unwell, and then seeing where it kind of goes at the end. So yes, it's a 5. Anna, let's go over to you.
And if you're on the playground and you get mad at a kid, mind your own fucking business because they're not your
Not
kid.
your kid, motherfucker.
That woman wouldn't have had an arm left if she had touched my kid like that.
I
You
was
know
thinking
what
the
I
same
mean?
thing. I'm like, you
I wanted to punch her in the
motherfucker.
face. And yeah, that kid smacked the juice out of his mom's hand because his mom was taking the scary lady's side in that moment. And she was like, oh, everything she told him, oh, well, whatever you did worked. Bitch, you don't know her. Why are you going to give this woman any kind of credit for doing anything to your kid? He's a boy who's probably 8 years old. Like you said, he's going to be causing ruckus and being rambunctious.
Causing that fucking
Yes.
ruckus.
Being rambunctious. You just
So
rhymed, and I love it.
Have you guys ever seen The Hand That Rocks the Cradle?
Mm-hmm.
I got strong vibes of that from this.
Okay.
It's got Rebecca De Mornay in it, the superior Wendy in the Shining miniseries. But my mom loved that movie. And it's about Rebecca De Mornay, who plays a nanny to this family. And her husband was a former OBGYN who was sexually assaulting his female patients. And this woman that she's now a nanny for is one of the women who reported him and made the case against him, got him convicted, and he ended up killing himself. Through all that happening, she was pregnant and lost her baby. While this was going on, she was actually in labor, and then the baby died during birth or was stillborn or something. So it's been a while since I've seen it, but she kind of blamed the stress and everything that happened, her husband killing himself, on this woman going to the cops and saying what he did to her. And in return, she's torturing her family and also wanting to steal her unborn child because she has a little girl that she's a nanny for, but the mom is also pregnant, which is why she was going to the OBGYN. So with this one, let's see, where am I at? I'm going to give the story a 1 because I really like the story. And I was right there with Holly. As soon as she took that dress off, I said, I knew it. I knew it.
No, I knew it too.
Especially after that interaction at the park, the way she was acting, I wish I could just be pregnant all the time. I was having the same reaction the mom was. You're crazy. Nobody did. No. So I'm definitely giving the story a 1. The creature I'm only going to give a 0.5 to, just because I don't want to give her that much credit because she's really a villain, and women like that piss me off to the point where, I don't know, it kind of puts me off of some stuff a little bit. I've been experiencing that a lot with the TV shows I've been watching lately, and I'm just tired of these crazy fucking bitches that can't seem to act right. So, yeah, get right or get. I really think, I think that she kind of had what Little D was talking about. She had some kind of miscarriage, a stillbirth or something, and that scar on her body was from them. Maybe was going to have a cesarean anyways. She couldn't deliver naturally, and that's what that scar is from. And in that moment, she just hates her body for not being able to produce a child like everyone else can so easily, and how this woman's taking it for granted so, just so flippantly, oh yeah, it sucks being pregnant. What are you talking about? Just being really ungrateful the way as from her point of view.
Yeah.
So yeah, for the creature, 0.5. Atmosphere is definitely a 1 because I wanted to see where it was going to go, how far she was going to take it. and how it was going to end. Runtime is a 1 because even though it is on the smidge of a long side, I mean, it needs to be because we have to create that hate for Casey and the what the fuck is she doing? We have to wonder, like, okay, did she have a baby? Like, why is she doing this? And that amount of time allows us to do that and create kind of our own point of view of who she is and what her intentions are. Effects, I'm going to give a 0.52. Actually did like the baby belly looks good. She had a cute little pregnant look about her when she did have the little bump on. There's something else I was going to say. Oh, yeah, that camera work at the end. Because it did the same thing that Scream 5 did, where one of the characters, like, you think they're going to get it, and it kind of fakes you out a few times. Like, there's a...
the kid in the shower.
There's a couple of cuts, and it happens a lot, and I was like, well, is she there? Like, did she show up? Or are we just thinking that? Or are they just faking us out? And in that moment, I think the reason that fridge was so damn big was because we wouldn't be able to see any shadows of her coming up. Because I was looking, you know, it was a big old fridge regardless. But in that moment, I was looking because I rewound it and watched it again, just the ending part. And just the way, as big as the door is and the way the mom is standing, you don't see her because she's not there until the door opens. So you don't see any shadow like around on the ground down there of her walking up to kind of get in her position. And she has to be a little shorter than the mom because she pretty much hides perfectly behind her until she moves. Yeah. And I do love that because she literally comes out of nowhere. And also the camera work, like the above work with the chicken and the packing of the suitcase, that suitcase shot was just
suit up.
Aesthetically so pleasing to watch. So yeah, the effects I'm going to give a 0.52, which gives me a 4 overall for a 4.5 aggregate for the baby for all of us.
Nice.
I think Casey's definitely the type of person to eat the placenta.
No doubt. She'd drink her own breast milk
bite
too.
the umbilical cord.
Yeah. In my head canon, the mom gets it over on her and she's dead. Fuck Casey.
There you go.
Yeah. She slaps her with
that
door.
I did get confirmation. It is Taylor Bustamante.
Bustamante.
So instead of the U sound, it's two O's, which I was close.
You were cut.
I was real close. Yeah, but Little D, you talked about wanting to revisit this, and I can't wait because this one and Gaslighter, I can't wait to see on a big fucking screen.
Yeah.
And I am going to let you know that this theater has some of the best sound I've ever experienced in a theater before, and they keep it loud.
Nice.
Hell yeah! So I can't wait. We're gonna meet up with Taylor as well. We're gonna chat with her.
Mini mics.
So yeah, getting the
mini mics
with the baby mics. It's gonna be a ton of fucking fun. But yeah, Tales 14 in the bag.
Solid.
Really good Tales tonight.
Yeah.
But like we've been alluding to, this is gonna drop day singular before we're all together in Salem for Salem Horror Fest. I can't wait.
Me neither.
It's gonna be a ton of fucking fun. But until then, we have just dropped our episode on Deadstream.
Woo! So fun.
You can go and check that out. And I think by the time this comes out, Little D and I had the pleasure of going on Screams from the Basement to talk about Itchy the Killer and audition for a Takashi Miike double.
Boy, was that a crazy conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of us were on the same page for certain things for a certain movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, but Anna, what do you have cooking over on Give Me Back My Action and Horror Movies?
Barbecue chicken.
We just dropped Barbecue Zombies.
Sewn up chicken.
Shoot. We just dropped 1978's Dawn of the Dead to round out Anna April, and then next week we'll kick off just what may come, I believe, because we're kind of hitting some open territory over there as well. No themes, just Charlie's getting some picks again finally, so he'll be picking what's coming up next, and I think we're going to throw Pete a bone and give him a pick. And yeah, that's
Don't say throwing Pete and a bone
I
at the
know.
same time.
what about you, Big D?
So we had just dropped the letter O for Office Space over on the Flicks and Friends podcast for our AB season.
Yeah,
Oh,
about
did
that.
you?
When they go, you got to give them your O face.
It kills me. Gotta give him your O
Lost
face.
it. What's that? Oh. So we have that coming out, and then over on B Action, we will be we'll have dropped Saturday of this recording. We'll have dropped Mickey's first birthday episode, which is the return of Swamp Thing.
Happy birthday, Mickey.
Nice.
Our silver fox is still silver, baby. So yeah, that's all I got going on. Lil D, what we got cooking?
I was on Dissect That Film for a slice of TV, reviewing The Last of Us Episode 2 with Parker and Wyatt from Cinema Trip Reviews. Dustin's Big D's
Dissect that film.
repping the Dissect That Film today in spirit. I'm going to try to join them over there for as many episodes as I can for The Last of Us. So yeah, go listen to them as well.
Hell yeah. Little Deep, what do we got going on over here?
The usual stuffs. I will let everybody know that next week we will not be having an episode come out. We're going to take a little bit of a relaxation, and we're going to be coming off of Salem Horror Fest. We're just going to take the week off to kind of recuperate, because during all of the Salem Horror Fest stuff over on our Patreon and on a lot of our socials, we're going to be putting a lot of exclusive content over there. And a little update for our Patreon. We have upped the amount to $2 a month.
$2, Bob.
We're doing that just to kind of help pay
$2,
for some
Bob.
other things over here, like our Riverside, or things for our Google Drives, or anything like that, because everything you guys do over there always goes back into the show, and we appreciate you so, so much. And you always get episodes up to a week early over there. But if you're listening on audio, like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you guys are rating, liking, commenting, sharing. And over on YouTube, make sure you guys are subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting, disliking, whatever floats your boat, because any engagement is what we want and what we need and what you need. Remember that. That's what you need.
Mm-hmm. You need it.
I need
yeah.
it.
This is great, and I'm sure at this time that this is dropping, you guys have already gotten some Salem Horror Fest stuff. We'll see. Who knows? But yeah, that's all we got for this one, right, guys?
Yep.
That's all I got.
All right. Look out for Casey's. If you know a Casey,
Just punch them.
ask.
They're not as
Fucking
tough as they think they are. Trust
Deck
me.
'em.
Is your name Casey? Yeah.
Protect the children. Protect the children.
Yes. But yeah, this was a great one, guys. And thank you to everybody from Salem Horror Fest that is attending there, that sent us the shorts to have us view and watch. Cannot wait to watch them again on the big screen. But other than that, we'll see everybody at Salem Horror Fest.
Bye.
Later.